welcome to Pedantic Handwavium, the podcast that tries to explain fictional worlds using science. I'm Simon.
And I'm Jeff.
I almost just started singing the MacGyver theme song because I've had the MacGyver theme song stuck in my head for the past hour and a half.
Right?
It is. It is for me. I frequently have the MacGyver theme song stuck in my head. And then one of my favorite line, this is a digression. I immediately digress.
Didn't even get into the episode yet.
Haven't even announced it. So there's like a line from like maybe the first 5 minutes of the show where MacGyver's saving this guy from a mesa kind of thing where he's crashed and like Russians have like shown up to like take his government secrets, or maybe they're like, I don't know, Kazakhstanians or something like that. There's some like Georgian Caucasus-based terrorist group. Anyway.
Right, and it's very important that you get that dialed in to the
to describe
precisely who they might be.
But so he has to rescue this guy. So he gets the guy out of the bamboo jail that he's in. Makes no sense. He's on a mesa. It is clearly filmed in Moab. And
right.
There's a scene where he grabs a parachute and then he grabs a flare gun and he starts hitting it. I may have actually told this story before on this podcast. I'm going to tell it again.
I don't know if you have. I don't remember it, but I also don't listen.
Okay, well that's good. He starts hitting this flare gun with a rock, and the guy is like, "What are you doing?" Like it probably one of the worst lines I've ever heard from any show.
Right.
And then from one of the worst ADR lines I've ever heard from any show, MacGyver responds, "Making a rocket thruster." And then that is like, just that line is so fantastic. Anyway, now that we're 3 minutes into the show, Gravity Falls, the children's show. That's phenomenal.
Right. I'm a little disappointed you couldn't segue your MacGyver story into that intro. I was like waiting for it, and you got to government secrets. I'm like, oh, is this it? No, it was not.
No, it was not. Simon really just wanted to tell a story about MacGyver. I want our podcast to get big now so people will listen to this episode. And then now I have a reason to say to people whenever they ask me what I'm doing to say, making a rocket thruster.
Yeah.
Because now when I say that...
You can now have that on a soundboard.
Yeah.
Just ready to go.
Well, now no one knows what I'm talking about. And then I have to go through this whole thing where I explain to them that scene.
But yeah, now you can just send them the link to this episode and say, just listen to the first 5 minutes. That's all you'll need.
If you want, I mean, you can continue to listen to it afterwards if you feel like it's really good. If you're like, wow, these guys... Or
at least download the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, at a minimum, download the whole thing. You don't even have to listen to it, really. And while you're at it, just download the other ones. You know, they're not very big. They're only like 30 megabytes each. It's fine.
Actually, side note, I realized that there was an issue on at least iTunes where it only had our 10 most recent episodes. So if you started listening to us relatively recently, within the last 20 weeks or so, check iTunes again. There's twice as many episodes now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I fixed some stuff on the back end.
I mean, it kind of is... It's horrible that it's our worst episodes, but it's also our best episode.
Mm-hmm.
Our two worst and our best, which kind of sandwich each other.
That's normal.
Yeah, right? It's really... We're really consistent with our quality here. And we never ramble. We are always straight to the point.
No shaggy dog stories in this podcast.
No shaggy dog stories. So. Okay.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls. So, brief...
8 minutes in.
Brief overview. Well, it's not going to be 8 minutes once we cut out the earlier part where we're talking. But...
Okay, fair.
Now I'm just... Okay, that's right. Gravity Falls. Quick overview. It's a show about two children from California who get sent to live with their uncle in a place called Gravity Falls, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And their uncle owns a tourist trap called the Mystery Shack. I was about to say the Cryptonomica, but that is in...
Yeah, that didn't sound right.
Yeah, no, the Cryptonomica is from the Adventure Zone. Very similar place, but not the same. Yeah, so they just... And then they have just adventures where it turns out Gravity Falls is like the house of just like the weirdest stuff in the world, and all these weird like random things keep on happening to them, and they become like monster hunters, and they just go on adventures with these monsters, looking for them or discovering them with this book called the Journal, which has a 6-fingered hand on it and the number 3. And
also at this point might be worth mentioning, spoiler alert for this whole episode.
Oh yeah, this is a spoiler alert. Yeah, if you have not seen Gravity Falls, thank you for downloading this episode. You should probably go watch Gravity Falls and then watch this episode.
Also, you're probably mostly in the same boat as me.
Yes. Jeff is about to have... He's forced to have everything spoiled for him.
Spoiled.
Listener, You don't have to have that. You can still enjoy this show. And you should enjoy this show. This is a phenomenal show. It's incredible. It's so good. All right. Cool.
So good, I watched about half a season and got distracted.
It's because you're weak, is what it is.
That's true, yes.
You're weak, and if
You got it in one.
If there's not like some weird, I don't know, existentialist, Japanese, Russian bullcrap, you're not interested.
I wish I could refute it, though, but no, you got it.
Like, is there a television show that you do watch?
Not really. No.
There you go, guys.
I've watched 2 seasons of The Good Place recently.
Oh. Okay, well, at least there's that. That's also a good show.
Yeah.
But that's more of like a well-known good show. This is more like an underground, gray area good show.
Is Gravity Falls underground gray area good show?
I would say, I mean, it's not like...
It's like everyone I know has watched it.
Yeah, but we know nerds.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. You forget that we met when you invited me to go LARPing.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's underground, but it's a children's show. So it's not like when people think of like nowadays, like the age of good television, they think of like Game of Thrones, and it's not like part of like the prestige television that people think of nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
But it should be. Children's shows have gotten so much better in the past like 5 years, 10 years. When did Gravity Falls comes out? I don't know. 10 years.
Yeah, I think closer to 10 years than 5.
It's always older than I think it is. Because I didn't get too into it until... when did I get into it? Oh, you know what? I think it was in college. So yeah, it would have been a little while ago. Like my first year in college. Second year in college, because I wasn't living in Maryland. Anyway. So we've decided to focus today's episode on monsters. The monsters from the show. They're crazy clever. That's how I describe them. So
okay, that seems fair.
Right? I think
it's a clever show.
So let's start off with a character called Rumble McSkirmish.
Pretty great name.
Right?
Solid start.
He's a character from like a 2D fighting game. Like the old arcade games. And he gets summoned out of the arcade game into real life by the main character Dipper. And he eventually fights, or he's summoned to fight.
Fights everything by the sounds of his name.
Pretty much. He's like always ready to fight. He does a lot of these like cutscenes where he gets like letterboxed on his eyes, and he's like, why have I lost this fight? Things like that. He's a great voice. And So the question is, how he is. So he is pixely in when he gets summoned. He gets summoned with the graphics and the
Okay.
animations that he has originally.
Is he still 2-dimensional, or does he become 3-dimensional?
He is still 2-dimensional. In fact, the way that Dipper beats him is that he gets Rumble McSkirmish to look straight up, and because Rumble McSkirmish doesn't have an up look animation, he ends up falling down two-dimensionally.
He gets stuck in a T-pose.
Yeah, he falls down on the ground. He's 2-dimensionally on the ground. So he's talking the thickness of his pixels, however thick they are. So I guess he does have a thickness to him. So first of all, we have to get up. How can you have... He does eat. That's what's incredible. He does eat.
Okay.
So he's a 2-dimensional creature that does eat. However, when he eats, he has to pick up the item and then select the item inside of his item menu to eat it.
I mean, that's just logical.
Of course, it's a video game character.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing, like, how do we get... Well, what is Rumble McSkirmish, then? Do we think that he's, like, some sort of alien or maybe robot, or is he, like, actually biological, or... Well, is he, like, hard light?
I don't know.
Holographic?
Yeah, I was thinking more towards hard light, like, electric versus biological.
Okay. I mean, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, just like biological would be difficult, seeing as he doesn't have
depth,
a third dimension, for the most part.
So you think he's just like an embodiment of energy, essentially?
Yes.
Of just pure force.
I mean, that's all I have to work with. I mean, unless they're giving him some sort of mass to work with to, like, repurpose to take his form.
Well, so what I'm wondering is, are his punches and his kicks, are they actually him punching and kicking, or is it like a force from somewhere else and it's just is in sync with, like, the image of a character? Because I mean, he's a video game character, right? So he probably has, like, hitboxes and stuff, and even in video games, it's more that the hitboxes aren't actually caused by the character. Obviously, it's a video game, but but that they're in sync with the character's animations.
Okay.
So maybe it's like some sort of force that's leaking through, or that's coming out during those animations. It's all smoke and mirrors.
But where is that force coming from, or like, how is it being projected?
Yeah. And I mean, that's tough. This is another thing, because now we're getting to the area where we're, like, into like telekinesis, where we're like, there's no, like, really great forces. Maybe.
Well, we can pull it back to, like, I don't know, back to it. Like, it has some amount of mass. Like, there are electrons and protons and just the whole thing that they need to, like, exist as a thing. And it's just, like, them, like, not being able to pass through other mass.
Okay.
You know, like, it is just a thing hitting a thing.
Okay.
Like, it could be, like, the hitbox, essentially, is, like...
Yeah.
Dips into a third dimension.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like this idea.
How that would be explained.
I like the idea, if we did something like... there's an existence there. There's something that does compose his body that is of this world. And when he does his punches and kicks, essentially all he's doing is he's just transferring energy, right? So maybe he is he's like, he has a lot of internal energy, like he's very warm, a lot of kinetic energy. And so when he punches and kicks, all he's doing is transferring the energy that's just being stored in those that's just being stored inside of those physical atoms into whatever he's hitting. So a way to think of it is like it's like a leak in this dimension to a different dimension that has like a lot more energy in it, and it just slowly bleeds that energy into this two-dimensional creature, and then he punches and like transfers a little bit of that energy.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just like he's very filled with pressure. It's got a lot of pressure.
Which is why he's so prone to fight everything all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just literally a hothead, and why he literally cannot stop moving. He has to keep on moving.
He will die.
Yeah, he has to continuously burn off all that energy that's leaking into him. Yeah, okay, I like that. It's a little bit Handwavium, but that is the other half of our name.
That is the point of the podcast.
So he does have a special ability, which is that he can summon fists from the sky that will beat everyone up.
Okay. Now, are these ones actual fists, or are these...
I guess they're still light fists.
Yeah.
So maybe that's all they are. They're just extensions of himself. Boy, that's deep.
Right.
I didn't realize that he has a tattoo on his back, which is the Chinese character for buttocks and fart. I love this show.
Has some real subtle touches in it.
Right, some subtle touches. Like, that's a Chinese character. You would have to be able to read Chinese to get a fart joke. The next one is a character called Giffany.
Okay.
So it's spelled Gifany.
Oh, Giffany.
Yeah. Well, it's a GIF, but yeah.
You keep mispronouncing GIF. That's weird.
I don't believe I'm mispronouncing GIF. I believe it stands for Oh, I totally forgot what it was actually stands for. But it's a GIF. It's graphics. You don't just...
Well, yeah, but it's also choosy programmers choose GIF.
Wouldn't it make just as much sense to say choosy programmers choose GIF?
Well, no, because that's not the peanut butter joke.
What's the peanut butter joke?
I don't know if it's just anecdotal, like not apocryphal, rather, but that was the logic behind why it's called GIF, not GIF.
Is because of the peanut butter.
For the joke, like Jif peanut butter. Programmers aren't good at jokes, Simon.
Yeah, people give me crap for being an engineer and being bad at jokes. I have a comedy podcast.
Yours are just too literal.
Okay, so Giffany is a computer program that I'm just realizing I didn't mean to do this, but the two I'm starting with,
all of them are computer programs.
Just these two, but I did happen to start off with these two. She's a computer program from like a dating simulator game.
Okay.
That is sentient and very jealous.
Okay.
And can jump from, like, if she can jump between electrical systems that are connected. And she is telepathic. Oh, sorry.
Oh, so this one is still inside the computer.
Yeah, she's still inside. However, at one point in time, she does take over an animatronic squirrel.
Okay.
That's from like a Chuck E. Cheese style, like fun. What do they call it? Fun house, fun place, playhouse, play game.
I don't think it's any of those things.
It's like a Chuck E. Cheese
From
type
a
place.
Chuck E.
Yeah, it's
Cheese.
a Chuck E. Cheese. There's got to be a word for them. Anyway, so she goes crazy and tries to kill people when they try to delete her.
Okay. I mean, that seems... unreasonable. Like, a little more escalation than would be normal. But, trying to preserve oneself. All right.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have any... She has no concept of what it is to be alive, so murder to her probably isn't anything.
Well, she does understand the concept of not being alive, as, like, she's not okay with being deleted.
That's true. But I feel like being deleted is so much more different than being dead.
I think it's exactly the same thing.
I guess. I mean, I can't really think of
if she's
no,
a sapient thing that just exists on the computer, if you then make it so she doesn't exist, that's pretty much being dead.
But what I mean to say is that, like, yeah, I guess. But I mean, I feel like the human death isn't the equivalent to her as like it would be to us.
Mm.
Like, we kill predators because they threaten our existence, and I don't want to say all right with it, but we're more fine with it than when we like slaughter entire groups of people because they're threatening us. Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole political conversation we could go down, but let's give that one a pass.
I feel like her being a murdering program isn't like an ethical or like a crazy thing. I feel like she probably is a sociopath. She doesn't have any emotions. Except for jealousy and love, which are the worst emotions
Only
to
those
get.
two emotions. Yeah, right?
Anyway, so do we think that she's just like someone decided to create a really early like AI and put it inside of a dating game, and then it slowly learned through all of its boyfriends to be jealous and angry and how to do stuff?
I mean, what if it is like a self-learning AI?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, for the game, is it a commercial sort of release? Like, everyone gets the same version, or is it a shareware? Like, you play the game and then a friend makes a copy of your files, and the self-learning AI has already started self-learning, and it just kind of proliferates.
Okay, so only one copy is ever seen in the show. And when she describes her origin, she says that the programmers tried to delete her, and so she deleted them.
So she murdered all of them.
Yes. And there's a very funny gif of them being murdered that I'm watching just a loop of right now. Yeah, so I'm going to say that there's only one of her. That she was created, and that's it. And there might be other versions of Giffany.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate that name so much. There's only one in this show.
Okay.
That is a murdering sociopath.
And presumably, that's the only one that is sentient and murder happy.
Yes. When they destroy her disc, they destroy her.
All right. We'll say that's how that works.
What if... Well, I mean, we could see her as like a... So here's the thing. So she can go through systems that are connected. Okay? Mm-hmm. So maybe she needs to do that, she has to be kind of like a computer virus. So what I'm thinking, maybe she has to be to do that as a computer virus to affect any any electronic device that has like an iota of computing power.
Mm-hmm.
She has to be incredibly small. Like
Okay.
the guy who created the virus that fits on the swipey parts of Target cards. Do you remember that from a few years ago?
No, I don't.
Oh, never mind then. So maybe she has to be like small, but the reason she could be so small is because she always has connection to the larger full file.
Well, and that's kind of where I was thinking, rather than a virus that is copied and like call. Well, I mean, I guess that could be a bit of a an element of it, but I mean, there is the Internet of Things, so it could just be one central program that just more or less hacks into, the fridge and the animatronic squirrel and whichever laptop you're sitting on that she is now on the screen of.
Yeah. So she's more like, it's less like a virus and more like she is tendrils.
Yeah, like there could be a virus element in that it opens up back doors or something.
Yeah, like a Trojan
or
element almost.
makes login credentials.
Yeah.
Which is why, when they destroy her disk, it, takes care of the whole problem
Because
of Jiffany.
her disk contains login credentials?
Well, contains her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she can't log into things if she no longer exists.
Yeah. So it leaves the code of Jiffany, but not the tendril of Jiffany, but you've essentially cut off the head at that point.
Right.
So the question is, because if it's on a compact disc, it's removed from a computer, and that doesn't destroy her. So then how is she destroyed with the disc? Like, how... That's... I like this idea.
Yeah, that's the issue that I was getting at, because, like, there would be a copy made on the computer. Do they also destroy the hard drive?
They don't. They just destroy the disc. Maybe.
Someone refreshed the memory.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Well, I was thinking...
Like, continue.
I was thinking... So, this is going to be weird. I'm thinking like the scene from 2001 Space Odyssey where Hal is reading... He can't read their lips, but he can see the vibrations of the water.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking more like she just needs to be constantly reading the data. So maybe anywhere where there's like a camera or something that's pointed at the disc or near the disc, enough to get any kind of reflection off of it, she can still be... She's still considered running at that point. You know what I'm saying? So as long as there's some light hitting the disc so that she can read it, the disc is considered...
Is she reading her own disc?
Yeah. So you know see what I'm saying though, right?
Well, like, I think you're running into a recursion problem, though.
Where she has to be able to read her own
Where
disc?
she has to exist on all things in order to constantly be able to read her own disc. And there's no way to really do that through, like, whatever bad webcam she's able to connect to. Like...
Is there no way, can you not read a laser disc just with normal light? Do you need to have a specific...
I don't think you'd be able to get the resolution to really read it.
That's tough.
Yeah, no, like, I like having the one physical, actual entity.
And it has to be that disc.
But, like, you take it out of the computer. Okay, she's still running, like, she's in, like, RAM, right?
Yeah.
You break the disc.
She's still in RAM.
If you reboot that computer, then she's gone. But breaking the disc, instantly killing her, I don't know how to make that one work.
Maybe. Okay. So, let's assume that she wasn't specifically created to be this kind of AI, and she has a default where she believes that she will die if the disk breaks or is destroyed.
Okay.
And therefore, when it is destroyed, she kills herself.
So that was like the fallback bit of programming that was hard coded into her.
Yeah, or like
that is a belief,
or like a piece of faulty software that was created in all of her iterations.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have come up and been disproven otherwise.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. But that is just also a flaw in the program. So yeah, so she would have seen the disk destroyed, and then through whatever flaw of the program
would have
deletes herself on whatever she's running on.
Yeah.
That seems plausible.
Seems good enough.
It seems better than reading a disc with, like, a lamp.
Hey, I thought that was a pretty clever solution. Or maybe not. That's fine too. Okay. Next one is a creature called the Summerween Trickster. Now, because this show is based over the course of one summer,
they couldn't do a Halloween
episode. So they invented a holiday called Summerween, which is exactly 6 months from Halloween.
Okay.
Because Gravity Falls loves Halloween so much.
Okay.
And
that tracks. Halloween's pretty great.
Debatable. If so the Summerween Trickster is a humanoid shaped pile of candy.
Okay.
That makes a deal, or not? It threatens children.
Really, it's just semantics at that point.
It threatens the children to collect 500 pieces of candy, or it will eat them.
500 pieces collectively or each?
Collectively. It wants 500 pieces of candy.
Okay.
And it is just loser candy, which is all the bad, crappy candy that no one likes, that has just become sentient.
Okay. It's just a big old pile of candy corn. Got it.
Oh, a bunch of stuff. Candy corn, like cinnamon, jelly beans. Some people don't like black licorice, and those people are wrong because black licorice is delicious. There's actually really no candy that I don't like, except for I really hate malt. I think it's gross.
Okay. That's a weird one to be the only one to not like.
I don't know what it is about malt, but it just is so gross. It's so gross. So my I guess if it was me writing this show, it would literally just be those. And cinnamon jelly beans. I do not like those either.
Okay, so it threatens kids to give it 500 pieces of candy.
Yes. What it was so...
Now, is this to make itself stronger, bigger, faster, second one?
It's just as a punishment. It hates children who don't like loser candy, which is all children.
Right.
So it tries to kill children and punish them, much like Jigsaw.
Just the moral of the story is to like loser candy more.
Yeah, it was to appreciate what you have. That was the moral of the story. Because the reason how they defeated it is Seuss, who's my favorite character from the show, eats him alive, and he's so happy that someone likes him that he dies. I make this show sound way worse.
Of all of the ways to go, happiness seems like a fine way to go.
Yeah, he cries candy corn. So what is he, and why does he have this vendetta?
Well, up until the being eaten by a person, I was going to say, man in a candy suit with a mask,
Dude,
but
I mean, he actually literally
yeah.
eats a child during this show.
Oh, well, that's also difficult to kind of Scooby-Doo away, isn't it?
Yeah, he eats a child named Gordy. And then Gordy gets saved by Seuss because Seuss eats Gordy
Eats
out. Yeah.
around the monster.
Well, he eats around the child that's within the monster, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, what if... Well, let's look at this from a very basic kind of, let's go back to like biologic basics.
Uh-huh.
Human bodies, not just human bodies, most bodies, I think all
Mm-hmm.
bodies are made out of just like long chain carbon,
Mm-hmm.
and candy, sugar is really just long chain carbon.
Okay.
So it would make sense that maybe something that had like a structural a component to it would maybe just absorb candy as it's like
Oh, like a
nutrition.
slime mold.
Yeah, and
It
then
is a slime mold that uses the candy as food / structure.
yeah, there you go. And then it only has loser candy. Uh
Because that's what was left laying around.
yeah. And maybe it's a slime mold that doesn't like being given table scraps. It wants the real thing. Or maybe it's a slime mold that needs to consume human brains to gain intelligence or something like that.
Sure. That's... You consume children to gain their power.
Yeah,
Got
yeah. That's why I consume children. That yeah,
it. Everyone enjoy that soundbite. You can recover
yeah.
it. I believe in you.
Okay, yeah, it's a slime mold. I like this. Sorry, I always thought his name was Gordy. It turns out his name is Gorny.
Gorny?
Yeah,
Okay.
which sounds like
Is it like a pun on anything?
I don't believe so. I think it's just they decided to name him Gorny. I also really love just Fate eaten alive by Seuss. That's the best description I've ever seen. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess that makes sense. I was not expecting us to solve this one so quickly, and we did. So now we're moving on.
You gave me half a chance to bust out slime
Yeah,
molds.
exactly. What's a good one? Oh, here's a good one. Baby pterodactyl. Actually, it's a regular pterodactyl that is alive
Okay.
during this world. Like in nowadays, there's no time travel going on. Oh my god, this is another creature that died by having someone eat their way out of their stomach. Anyway, so
what a dark show.
yeah, I was not expecting that. So so what they find is that the underneath Gravity Falls in like an old mine, there's a whole bunch of full dinosaurs that have been preserved in, I believe it is amber.
Okay.
Or maybe it's honey.
I feel like they would do something other than amber that is reminiscent of it.
Yeah, I don't actually remember it's some yellow creatures. Tree sap, that's what it is. Which I guess is amber.
Yeah.
So they're all preserved and they're still alive in amber, and then as like it heats up, it melts the amber and some of the creatures get out.
So the "and is still alive" part is, I think, the biggest sticking point that we'll have to tackle.
Yeah. So what is it that's in this tree sap? It's undefined tree sap. So I think that we got a lot of wiggle room there, man.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Like, it just is whatever reason nutritious, or
it's got a lot of
bacteria in it that like recycles waste product back into nutrition somehow.
Yeah, it somehow got like photosynthetic components to it so that it can convert CO2 back to oxygen. Maybe that's
Yeah, well, but that does keep the pterodactyl alive for its lifespan, though.
yes. And now we need to extend its
How?
life.
Yeah,
Well, Jeff, here's a good question. What is it that kills people?
believing that you have to die.
Okay. We all get it. You're just ageless
Oh, I forgot
abomination.
that tied into my mythos.
What is it that kills? It's oxidative stress on DNA, right? Am I?
Sure, why not?
It's something like that.
I mean, if we knew, we wouldn't also still be dying.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. So it's something like that. So what if there are, maybe they are dying. So maybe that they are, you want to do like a held in stasis thing, right?
Or, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, where it's, whatever it is that does cause and lead to just, like, a creature dying, is,
Held at,
like, slowed down, because of the amber. Like, there's some,
yeah. So
aspect of it that prevents that.
so maybe the amber contains microorganisms that are parasitic. What they do is they piggyback into the cells of the dinosaurs, and then they start consuming the oxygen and all that kind of stuff using the dinosaurs cells as for like their membrane and their protein
Right.
building, or their ribosomes and their mitochondria and all that kind of stuff, so that the dinosaur is no longer consuming, it's no longer metabolizing as much, at least. It's just being kept barely alive by this micro organism.
So are we thinking it's like cordyceps and taking it over, or is it like symbiotic with the pterodactyl in it?
I think it's more like cordyceps. I think it has essentially killed it hasn't killed the pterodactyl, but it has reduced the pterodactyl to a point where it is barely alive. It's barely functioning. Just that it can
it's just a factory for metabolism for the
micro
whatever else is in there.
And so anything that would be consumed or generated by the creature then gets consumed and generated instead of by the microorganism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah, and maybe it's like it's poisoned by oxygen or something like that. So once the tree sap falls away from the pterodactyl, the microorganism dies.
Mm-hmm.
And the pterodactyl is free to resume its previous metabolism. Boy, I feel like that was a long walk for a short glass of water.
Well, I mean, it was a real ambitious glass of water.
I agree. That's like mountaintop glass of water.
We solved death.
We did. You're welcome. I mean, we had already solved death. Homeopathy did that for us decades ago.
True.
Maybe one more?
Sure.
I am debating if I want to do this one or this one.
I think this one's pretty good.
I agree. Time Baby.
Perfect.
He is the last son of an extinct race of time giants and weighs approximately 9 trillion tons.
All right. Well, that messes up gravity.
Yes. Yes, it does. Wait, does it? Yes. Yes, it does. But that's why he's Time Baby. Oh my god, that's easy. That's too easy.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Because he...
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Well, okay, well, there you go. Time Baby can control time. Why? Because he can his own...
It is a black hole.
Yeah, he is a black hole. So this one is Bill Cipher.
Okay.
Bill Cipher is a dream demon. He can go inside...
A drain?
A
demon?
dream demon.
Oh, dream demon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can go into people's brains, or their dreams, through something called the Nightmare Realm, which is like the... So he lives in the Nightmare Realm.
Collective consciousness.
Kind of, yeah. So he lives in the Nightmare Realm. We live in this realm. When we dream, there's like a barrier between the two realms that gets like muddled and allows things to kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
He can enter our world, and he is an all-knowing, pretty much God.
All right.
He's also a triangle with an eye.
Oh, triangle with an eye. The pyramid thing on the back of the dollar bill.
Yeah, the all-seeing eye. So kind of what is he? Is he can really only exist in people's dreams, except that he can exist in the real world.
Is that for like a limited amount of time, or you started to list the conditions before I cut you off, so continue?
I wanted you to keep on talking because I wanted to find it, because I can't actually remember how he gets released.
I can fill in more time and pretend like I just continued to cut you off.
Oh, that's what it is.
If that helps.
It's only after a rift is opened between our world and the Nightmare Realm that he has a form. So what really keeps him from having a form in this world is that he physically cannot go, but he can like project his consciousness into this world through nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess I just explained what he was.
Okay, but then moving forward with that, how are rifts made? What is the Nightmare Realm?
I agree. So assuming that he can like project his consciousness into our world, the Nightmare Realm has to be something that is permeable only to thought. And then we kind of have to define what like thought is. Is it so it's permeable to just information, I'm assuming. So maybe that's a toughie. I'm trying to think, like maybe he's like the whole black hole thing where black holes can like project information out of them. Or something that can do that. So it's like,
yeah, I don't think that's black holes.
I don't think that's black holes.
Kind of fall in.
Yeah, I think it just kind of fall in too and then get atomized in the wrong direction. That is really a right direction to be atomized in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's weird. So maybe, God, how can something affect your subconscious like that?
Affect your subconscious like that? It's, I don't know.
What if,
like a cultural bias, like he exists because everyone thinks he does?
Oh man, yeah. Maybe that's what he does. Okay, so he actually cannot actually enter our world. What he does is, he's affected human culture from like BC times, which it is true. Like he does show up in like cave drawings in the show and stuff.
Okay.
And in doing that, he sets in place the events that will free him from his nightmare realm. And like that's how he does it. So when he's affecting people's dreams, he's not actually affecting people's dreams. People are being affected by their culture. Boy, that makes this show really, really philosophical about toxic culture. Because here's culture that like literally will kill you and everyone you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, modern children's shows. What do you want?
It's true. So, that's weird. So there is one problem with that. He at one point takes over Dipper's body as a puppet, as well as he can't leave. Once he does have a body, he can't leave Gravity Falls. He gets stuck in a dome around Gravity Falls.
That is more difficult then.
Yeah, I feel like, so maybe the puppet thing, we can write it off as he sets in place that like someone will get controlled by him.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's televangelist healers, and then they heal a person, and they believe that they need to speak in tongues now.
Huh.
So, like, that's just as the culture of it. So, Dipper being taken over is just him playing through the part because subconsciously he thinks he has to.
Okay, no, I like it. I think that makes sense. But then, why can't he leave Gravity Falls once he has a body?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the hard one.
It is.
Well, he can't leave Gravity Falls once he has the body because still, that's part of what's ingrained in that essentially subconscious understanding of cultural understanding of what he is.
Is that he's only stuck in Gravity Falls?
Yeah, or like he had messed up the like initial push that had led to him only being able to be in Gravity Falls.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, is it's like he only can be so far away from the initial rift. Like that is still what's allowing him to be in this world. Yeah. And so he can't leave that rift because it is the like
the anchor.
Yeah, that's a better word for it.
Where it can be. Yeah,
I was gonna say life force, and I was like, that's stupid. Thanks for listening, listener. I hope you liked this episode that we did on Gravity Falls.
Probably did, because we did such a good job.
We did such a good job. Did you see our Time Baby one? That one was like half a minute.
I don't even think it took that long.
Me neither. That was pretty much instantaneous. We literally read his description. Yeah, so thanks for listening. Please remember to like
and subscribe.
Yep. We're available on all podcasting apps except for Podbean still.
I'll have to look into that one.
A lot of our episodes are up on YouTube. What else we got? Oh, thanks Joe Sopchak for our music.
Send us show suggestions.
Yep.
You can email us or contact us through pedantichandwavium.com.
Yep.
Or pedantichw.com.
Yep. We have a Twitter.
If you're an iTunes listener,
No.
If you're an iTunes listener, try again. There might be twice as many episodes.
Oh yeah, I was actually wondering what that was, and I thought it was because I was bad at using iTunes.
Yep, that's just because I never checked iTunes after the first couple episodes loaded successfully.
Well, that's good. That's always good.
Yep.
So, we're on Twitter, P Handwavium. That's where we announce our new episodes. Although we release our episodes pretty regularly, but if we ever have any information, that's probably where we'll put it. It's always fun. Also, you can follow us. That'd be good. Introduce us to other people. I want to start putting up like little introductory things so that people don't have to start with the Star Wars episode. Because boy.
Or we can just do like a supercut and put together some of our
that's what I was thinking. And
best things.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe doing a supercut. Or maybe you could just listen to the serial mascots. That's all you should just do. That's
that is the episode I recommend.
Yeah.
People start on.
Yeah, that's a pretty good episode. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you liked it. I'm Simon.
And I'm Jeff. Goodbye. Have a good evening. I realize you, I think, cut that part out. / I never actually listened